Well, here we are getting around, pulling up into my spot, or my parking spot right now. But today is October 5th, I believe. It's the opener for the statewide archery, so it's pretty nice to get to hunt close to home today, or this morning here. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens here. Hopefully all goes well. We see some doe, and maybe we get some meat on the ground too. So we'll see what happens here, and we'll see who else, if anybody else comes into the woods to meet us. So close to home right now, and we're gonna see what this woods brings to us today. As you know, we got the buck last week, so right now we're on doe patrol and see what we can do to find some doe. Temperatures, like, I don't know, I think my truck said it was 40 degrees on the way in. There's a little bit of a breeze, which the breeze is working out pretty good. It feels more of a south wind, which the deer come from the south usually in this stand, so this should be good. But yeah, 40 degrees, that's probably like the coldest opening day that I've ever had, well, at least that I can remember. I think last year I was up here and it was sweating.
I'm baking like a toasted Caesar.
80 some degrees out, so should be pretty nice. Coldest morning of the year so far, and we'll see what that brings about. Maybe the deer will be out moving. Got a little bit of time this morning. Got about, I don't know, 2 hours worth of shooting light, and then I got a jet to go do some things this morning. So hey, we'll see what happens. It's good to be up in the woods, good to be in the tree, and yeah. Okay, so this buck here is a little 3-pointer. He came out from out in front of me. I watched him walk in here. So he comes in, it's probably 15 minutes, now about a half hour after shooting light. He comes in and he mills around for a while. Just a little spike on one side and a little Y on the other. And I watch him for a good 5 to 10 minutes. He walks right past me and then goes out the backside, and never really knows that I'm there. And then about 20 minutes after I see that buck, I see some movement about 80 yards out in front of me, and there's a doe, and it's hard to see in this picture, but there's actually a little yearling about to the left of this doe. They're just eating the acorns, milling around, not taking much thought about moving through the woods too fast, but they're out in front of me just eating acorns. And then as I watch them, they actually come a little closer to me, and the big doe, the lead doe, is making her way towards me, and I get ready to take a shot at this doe. It's a decent sized doe, and here, there's probably a couple different spots I might have been able to take a shot, but I really wanted to get it on video camera, and as you can tell, I'm trying to swing the camera into position, get it focused, get it in a good spot, and I'm trying to just predict where the doe is going to be, because once I draw back, I can't move my camera anymore. So there's an opening just a little bit to the right of me, or just a bit to the right of the deer, and usually they walk right into that spot, and that's where I was going to draw back and take a shot. and then she decides she's going to walk straight away from me. And in the meantime here, I'm not sure if you can hear it too well on the video camera, but I can hear a buck start grunting in the back, and you can hear me or see me looking, and that's a buck. I knew that buck was going to come through here and push that doe out, so I checked my yardage, see how far she was, and if she turned broadside, it was probably about a 25-yard shot. And that buck comes through, and I keep watching him, and he keeps getting closer. And once I knew he got close, it was going to be game over, and he was going to push that doe out of the way. Sure enough, here comes the buck. It's a 7-point. I'm not sure, on his back there you can see that he has an open gash. I'm not sure if that was a shot that he took earlier in the morning, but it's kind of weird because you can see it about 2/3 of the way back his back, and then right where the tail meets his back there's also a small gash too. So I'm not sure what happened there, if he caught on barbed wire or whatnot. It is, at this point, I've been watching the doe and then this buck coming through probably about 20-30 minutes at this point. So that buck could have easily gotten shot. We're about an hour and a half in about an hour and a half in the shooting light, so he could have got shot at early in the morning. But he comes through and he pushes the doe through past the tree stand, and I couldn't get a shot at him. And then there's also another little buck that's beside him, or behind him, following another little yearling. And this buck, I thought he was a 4-point, but as I look on the camera here, he's actually looks like he's a 7-point coming through. He's got some weird antlers, and they come up maybe about 6 inches off his head, but they sprout out like roots of a tree, kind of just take off into all these different points. At this point, I got my camera on this buck. He's about 20 yards from me, just milling around. Earlier in the season, I already shot a buck during the early season down around Philadelphia. So Pennsylvania, we're only allowed to have 1 buck. So it was pretty neat just to see these deer, these 2 buck and also the doe, move around amongst one another. And this buck, he gets to grunt and then fooling around and pushing doe around, which was pretty neat to see. You don't always get to sit back and watch that. So even though I didn't get a shot at any of these doe that come through, it was still pretty neat to watch these buck interact with the doe and hear the buck get nose to nose with each other, and they actually kind of hit antlers together a little bit every once in a while. And you can also see the interesting rack that the smaller buck has on him, where it comes up not too far off his head but sprouts into different antlers or different points. Alright, so I gotta get down out of the tree here. It's a short morning. It's just almost 8:30, but hey, it's been a great morning out here in the woods on the statewide season opener. Kind of a bummer that I didn't get to shoot that lead doe, but it's only the state opener, so we got some time to put some meat in the freezer. But nonetheless, though, it was a lot of fun just watching that buck work the doe and grunting and stuff and hearing him. And yeah, so I watched them deer. In total, I probably watched them about half hour, 45 minutes. So that was pretty interesting. It was a good morning, and we got plenty of time. So we'll be back in the woods later in the week, and hopefully we can get some meat on the ground and see what happens. So hey, it was opening morning and things were great. We'll be back.